Life wisdom.
What's healthy and what's not? It seems like what was healthy last week is now unhealthy, and what was unhealthy last week is now healthy. It can be really confusing. A great example is meat, and I want you to leave me a comment letting me know what you think. Is meat healthy or is it not healthy? Healthy? Not healthy. In this video, I'm going to describe why nutrition information can be so confusing and hopefully leave you feeling a lot less confused. There are three main reasons why nutrition information can be so confusing. And the first one is that everybody is different. Well, duh, right? But what I'm saying is that every body is different and it's going to have different nutritional needs. A different optimal diet that will make that person feel energetic and healthy and happy. And it's just not possible to assume that there is one optimal diet that is perfect for every single person on this planet. And while a lot of people will promote their personal diet and imply that it is the optimal diet for every single person on the planet, that just really isn't the case. A person living in a really hot climate will have a different optimal diet than a person living in a really frigid, snowy climate. And a person who exercises for several hours a day will have a different optimal diet than your average couch potato. So we end up with a whole lot of different diets, diet books and diet programs, and people feel really passionately about whatever diet is working for them. And they assume that, well, if it worked for me, it'll work for everybody. But that's just not a safe assumption to make. It's also important to realize that within the nutrition or diet industry, there's a lot of competition. And when somebody wants to publish a new book about this new nutritional information they have discovered, they're gonna have to come up with a very competitive and unique diet to market. So we end up with literally hundreds of different diet books promoting different diets, and that can end up being really confusing. So my tip here is to not get overwhelmed trying to find the one perfect optimal diet that every person on the planet should eat. Be open to all of the different nutritional information out there and different nutritional philosophies out there. Don't be overwhelmed when it seems that nutritional information is conflicting, and focus on finding the diet that works best for you. The second reason that nutrition information can be so confusing is that foods are not just good or just bad. Well, maybe some foods are just bad, like your fried foods, your processed foods, or refined foods, anything that has a really long ingredient list, or is your standard fast food or junk food that we all know to avoid. For more information on those bad foods, you can watch my video, What Not to Eat, or Junk Foods versus Superfoods. But as much as we'd like a simple black and white guide of what to eat and what not to eat, it's just not that simple. Because among the remaining foods, some of them have health benefits and also have negative health effects, especially if consumed in excess. Peanuts are a really great example. Some people are deathly allergic to peanuts and cannot eat them at all. But for other people, peanuts will be a really healthy source of monounsaturated fats and antioxidants. We can also look at the example of coffee or red wine. Consumed in excess, these beverages are known to have very negative health effects. But research is now finding that these beverages may actually provide health benefits. But does that make them healthy foods? Not necessarily. Because we could get those antioxidant benefits in other ways without having the caffeine and alcohol that we get when we consume red wine and coffee. So this tip is to don't fixate on trying to make a black and white list of good foods and bad foods. Recognize that some foods will be good for some people and bad for some other people. Some foods will have benefits when consumed in moderation and severe negative health effects when consumed in excess. Don't be fooled when they discover something healthy about an unhealthy food, and don't feel overwhelmed when they discover something unhealthy about a healthy food. The third reason why nutrition information can be so confusing is that food producers are for-profit businesses. And that means that they prioritize their bottom line over your waistline, and definitely over your health. Which means that they put chemicals in the food that actually make them addictive or that make you overeat. They put claims on the packaging that deceives you into thinking that that food is healthy. And they have plenty of money to spend on scientific research to try and make their product look better. So if you're Coca-Cola, for instance, and you're completely loaded because you manufacture the #1 most sold grocery store item, then you have plenty of money to spend on advertising campaigns, to spend on scientific research that makes your product look good, and to spend on lobbyists to convince the governmental regulatory agencies like the USDA and the FDA to leave your product alone. A great example is high fructose corn syrup. The Corn Refiners Association of America has spent a whole lot of money funding research, which ultimately finds that high fructose corn syrup is a perfectly safe thing to consume. And between the Corn Refiners Association and Coca-Cola, they've got plenty more money to spend educating consumers about this information. But if you ask someone who doesn't have a financial incentive to lie about high fructose corn syrup, like us here at Psyche Truth, and we do have a couple of videos on the topic, well, then they will tell you that high fructose corn syrup contributes to overeating, obesity, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and in my opinion, is just not a safe thing to consume. We can also return to the examples of coffee and red wine. These are huge, very big money-making industries that have plenty of money to spend on scientific research that will find positive health benefits associated with those foods. So this tip is to recognize that there are a lot of different people out there making nutritional claims. And a lot of those people have a financial incentive to sell more of whatever food they produce. And in some cases, that means a financial incentive to bend the truth, withhold information, or just all-out lie. So what the heck do we eat? We ruled out all the really horrendous foods, the fried foods, processed and junk foods. And what we're left with, vegetables, grains, beans, meat, there's still a lot of controversy around those food groups. So in a future video, I'm just gonna give you a basic rundown on nutrition information so you can make sense of what good foods you should be eating. And in another video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what is inside of a Big Mac. And chances are you'll be pretty surprised. So please be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so very much for watching this video. I hope that it made nutrition information a lot less confusing for you. If it did, please be sure to hit that like button and give me a thumbs up. Please be sure to leave your comment letting me know if you think that meat is healthy or meat isn't healthy. Be sure to subscribe to the Psyche Truth channel so you can see all my future videos, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. For my simple guidelines on what not to eat and healthy alternatives we can replace them with, check out the video, What Not to Eat. To see my video explaining some simple guidelines that we can use to lose weight and eat healthy, check out my video, The Easiest Diet Ever. High fructose corn syrup is used to sweeten all kinds of different foods. To find out the truth about HFCS, watch my video on high fructose corn syrup. We all know that junk foods are bad for us, but why? To find out, check out my video, Junk Foods versus Superfoods.